This is called the Older Youth Group 2, which has to do with Betsy Allen, the one nobody saw coming. Well, it's interesting because it's like where Hindquarters group uh, actually collided with the Older Youth Group, and where I learned of the virtue of my mother. Have I got your attention yet? So, when we left off last time, Betsy Allen's two vicious German shepherds attacked my dog, my German shepherd, right? And my German shepherd drove them off. They actually ran, right? So Maddie fought off two male German shepherds, and it took us like 3 days to find out that she actually had been almost mortally wounded. She was like, she was hurt, and we took her to our vet, Dr. Wynn, and he said, "Oh my God," he said, whoever attacked this dog was going for the kill, and he found this puncture wound in her neck, right? So, and he said, I'm very happy that you brought her in." And that's not like Dr. Wynn, because he was the guy who always said, "No, they'll be fine. They're okay. Like, if they're not eating, well, they'll eat when they get hungry." Like that. And then this time he was like actually concerned. And he said, "God, somebody was like a vicious dog after this one, right?" So anyhow, in the meantime, it's like everybody thought Betsy Allen was like this nice lady, and I watched her stand out of the road while her dogs attacked mine. And what's that like? To see a full grown woman with like white hair and like cool drapes. It's like she is like actually vicious. She's a sadist, right? She wants to see her dogs kill my dog. So that's when I stopped cutting her grass. And the thing was, she had two daughters, and they were both just like her. It was like Holly, and there was somebody else. I can't remember her name, but and they were at the Hyden house. It was like everybody thought she was great. It's like, no, she's not great. She's terrible. So what do? We simply ignore her. I wish we had done more, but I mean, I was still a kid, right? So I would like to have like kicked her to pieces for what she did to Maddie, right? So anyhow, um, there was the subsequent event of my mother, right? And when my dad was like all over Europe all the time, it's like he was in Northern Ireland, he was in England, he was in Scotland. He's like doing all this work for DuPont, right? And and we're like having all these tough times. This is when I started like doing rat traps. That's a whole different story, but anyhow, I can remember there was this night when it's like still not sunset yet, right? And this guy drives into our yard, right? And he is Betsy Allen's husband. His name is Allen. I was like, I think he's John Allen. I don't know. And he gets out, and he comes in, and my mother says, "Hello, John," and he says, I'm just home." He said, it's like he spends like 5 days a week in Connecticut, right? And then he comes home for the weekends because his wife is Betsy Allen. And he's like, uh, "Could I buy you a drink?" And she said, "Well, it's my house, so if you want a drink, I can give you a drink." And so we go into the place where my dad has his bar, right? And and I'm there, I'm looking. I was like, and he says, "Can I have a martini?" And she says, "Okay." And she knows how to make a martini because she's my mom. I say, right, so. And she makes him a martini. And then he comes up behind her, right? And he, like, puts his hands on her shoulders. And he says, he said, "Betsy is a difficult woman." And now, see, now I get to see how it is that real women fend off men, right? So, and my mother, like, shrugs out from under him, right? Not in any, like, obtrusive way. It's like, she's just like, suddenly, his hands are no longer on her shoulders, right? And she says, yeah. She said, I'm friends with Betsy," which is not true, because she already knows what she's dealing with, right? And I'm watching. It's like, am I supposed to, like, leap in here? It's like, no, apparently not, because she's got the situation under control. And she says, "Okay," and she has to drink for herself, right? So, and then, and then he's like making this, like, bold move on my mother, right? And she's like completely blasé. He's like, "Okay, this was really nice. You should come here, um, and now it's time for you to leave." And he looks into her eyes, and you could see that he knows. He's like, "Okay, I'm done." And he backs off, and he goes, gets in his car, and leaves. How cool is that? She didn't have to, like, smack him or do anything. She's just like, "I'm not available." And then I know what kind of a hell he was living in. And my mother never told my dad about it because jeez, okay. She didn't dislike the guy. I was like, she understood that he was living in a hell, right? And she just got rid of him. That's simple. Funny story.